Welcome back to Up North at 4. We are joined by a very special guest today, a 7-time Olympic champion, one of the greatest U.S. gymnasts in all of history, and that would be Shannon Miller, and she is joining us from Florida right now. Shannon, thanks so much for joining us on Up North at 4. We're going to talk about your health battle that you've recently had, but I do want to start with your gymnastics career. You know, you had a really strong career in the 90s. Any reflection, now that it's 2023, back on your strong gymnastics career?
Well, when you get to my age, there's lots of reflection, and I'm just so blessed to have been part of such amazing teams during the 90s, during the 1992 Olympics, the 96 Magnificent Seven, of course. But I really feel like the takeaway for me has always been the friendships and the bonds that were forged during that time and remain today. So it's fun to grow up with each other, and now we talk about things other than gymnastics, but to have that bond throughout those years is so wonderful.
Very neat. Thanks, Shannon.
So, Shannon, how do you think your career as a gymnast prepared you kind of for your health battle?
I think sports, it really does teach you all these wonderful life lessons, things like goal-setting skills, positive mindset, teamwork, resiliency. And I think it was a lot of those things that I tapped in during my cancer journey, and I would say especially during chemotherapy and a lot of the GI battles that I faced during that time.
So you're now a health advocate, Shannon. You're taking your competitive nature from gymnastics to being an advocate for others. What's your message for people at home?
My message for those that are fighting the good fight, that are going through a cancer journey right now, or maybe you know someone that is, you are not alone. And I think that's so important to remember. And I feel like I forgot it originally when I was starting out in chemo. I was trying to do it all myself, trying not to complain about the nausea and the fatigue, the dehydration. And by not speaking up, it landed me back in the hospital. And I realized that I wasn't alone. I could ask for help. There was strength in doing that. And I learned about supportive care and how that works hand in hand with oncology treatment.
And Shannon, you did also write a book. So what do you hope that readers will, what kind of perspective they'll gain out of reading your book?
I think I wrote the book, maybe 10 years ago on the heels of completing my cancer treatments. And it really was kind of a labor of love. There's plenty about my gymnastics and competitive story in there. But the main reason I wrote it was to talk about these life lessons learned through sport that I kind of then applied to this cancer journey, and how other people can do that as well to whatever challenge they might be facing in life or with their health. I really, as an advocate for health and wellness, and especially with my focus on cancer, I want people to know about that supportive care and how it goes beyond just the medical. The medical is essential, but reaching out to other resources, whether it's friends and family, whether it's local groups of survivorship, whether it is things like yoga and going for a walk and getting that fresh air that will help with the nausea and the fatigue, and whether it is things like Interade, the Interade oncology drink that's now available, that wasn't available when I was being treated. There are all these wonderful resources out there, and I want to give people hope. Every day there's something new, another resource that they can depend on.
Well, Shannon Miller, thanks so much for joining us in Up North at 4, an inspiring story, not only your gymnastics career, but even more so what you've done after it with your advocacy. Shannon, thanks so much for joining us.